Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. So this morning on Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives, we'll be looking at rickety vehicles on Lagos roads, a road safety. That's on Lagos Road. A threat to road safety or an enforcement dilemma. Well, questions are being asked as to the fact that yes, we see them, lots of rickety vehicles, but we see people making use of them. Is it a case of no choice, or perhaps the fact that those rickety vehicles are on the roads? Is it to say that they become an enforcement difficulty? We'll try and hear from you as well. But let me bring in my guest. He's in the studios right now. He'll be taking us through this excursion this morning. Engineer Akin-George Fashola is Director, Lagos State Vehicle Inspection Service, Lagos, and he's here. Engineer Akin-George Fashola, nice to have you in the building. Good morning.
Good morning, Victor. I'm on the hot seat again.
Yes, you've been on the hot seat for the past 3 weeks, by the way, and it's for very, very pleasant things, really. The last time we heard you talk about the speed limiters and the e-police cameras. How are those cameras doing, by the way, in Lagos?
They're doing what they're supposed to do.
And they're catching offenders?
Well, if you go past the speed limit, you will get a fine. That's just what I'm going to say about it. Okay. Don't speed.
Right. All right. Well, I know that there will be other times where we can talk about that, but let's look at the burning issue this morning where we're making reference to rickety vehicles. And I see there's something that you guys actually brought out within the past 24 hours, so to say, where you had this, I don't know how to describe it, rickety-looking vehicle, and the fact that it has defied all odds in terms of passing the inspection test. Talk to me. How did you guys come up with that? I mean, what's that concept all about, really? Okay,
this particular vehicle, like so many others that we have apprehended in the past, I actually was the one that apprehended this vehicle.
Where was that?
I tailed this vehicle from Engr all the way to Oshodi Terminal. And the only reason I did that was because it was fully loaded with passengers. I thought of the best way possible to alleviate their pain, if you want to put it that way. I could easily have stopped it along the way and said, just park, everybody get down. But those are the considerations that we have to take into account when you do that. And the mere fact that this particular vehicle, like I said, I tailed it from Engr
all the way to Oshodi.
Yes, and picked up officers along the way. Let's just follow it to the last stop. And when it got there, I just told the driver, get down, give me the key, and we drove it off. Okay, so I'm not here to lecture citizens about which vehicles they should enter, but I want to plead with you that, look, you need to be considerate of your own safety.
Okay, so there's one thing I'm going to bring to your attention first. The fact that you trail, this is a commercial bus, right?
Yes, it is.
Because the argument has always been that Vehicle Inspection Service do not enforce commercial buses. So this one is one just to testify to the fact that you guys do that, right?
Victor, every time I come here, I keep telling people, okay, so that's an assumption, right, that people have generally. If you come to our yards, you see a myriad of commercial transport rickety that we catch on a daily basis, right? This one in particular is just to highlight the current state of them, and we are going out hard on them.
I need you to describe to me what you saw with that vehicle. Describe to our listeners.
There is nothing good about this car. The whole frame is rotten. It has been welded over and over again. There's nothing else to weld. When you sit inside it, you can see the road, right? There's no light. All the tires, I don't want to say expired because expired is a nice word.
Right.
It is beyond expired.
All the tires are gone.
All the tires are gone. There are holes in these vehicles all throughout.
Wow.
Like I said, if you tap it, like just a small, maybe 10 mile per hour tap,
right,
the frame will come off, the body will come off the frame. That's how bad it is.
How many seater bus was it?
This is a 15-seater bus.
Wow.
That was fully loaded when I apprehended it.
Okay, so that speaks a whole lot of volume, and that's why we're asking that question this morning. Are these kind of vehicles threat to safety or an enforcement nightmare, so to say? So the fact that we find them on the road, some have said is a testament to the fact that these vehicles are not properly enforced. So you just confirmed it that you have myriads of them in your yard.
Yes.
And if you go to the different VIS offices across Lagos, you find those commercial buses.
You see them there.
But why are they on the roads?
If you talk to them, okay, so let me give you the guy that owns this particular vehicle. He has come to my office pleading. I'm like, look, there's nothing to plead. Is the state of the economy, blah, blah. I understand your situation, but you have to understand the fact that Lagos State has a responsibility to the citizens. Okay, so I will not let you, because of economic situation, destroy lives. Those are part of the problems that we have. If Victor, you should have seen this vehicle moving. It was struggling.
It was struggling to move.
Aside from the fact that it is a rubbish vehicle, it was struggling to move. The tires are not balanced. It was wobbling. He couldn't do more than 30, 40 miles. Is that the vehicle I want to engage and try to corner?
And I'm just curious, those passengers that were in the vehicle, what were they saying? I mean, how comfortable would they have been to be in that kind of vehicle?
You'll be interested to know that a lot of times, these same passengers that you are trying to protect actually assault officers. They will tell you, I know how many vehicles like that I have. I'll give you a perfect example. I apprehended one of those such vehicles on Ikorodu Road at Antoni. I parked the vehicle. Everybody come down. The passengers came to me and said, sir, can you let him drop us off at our destination and then you apprehend him? I was taken aback.
Yes.
Like, what do you mean? Look at this vehicle.
Because the vehicle it might not even reach the destination.
Exactly, but that is not the priority for them at that time. Which, if you look at it, it's understandable. But to me, it is not.
Right. So that means a lot of times passengers
ignore it.
They ignore safety.
They do.
Now, can it be said, can all this be traced to economic survival? Or, I mean, how come people are blinded with the reality that, look, my life is in danger?
Victor, I don't want to get into that discussion. That is an ethical discussion that in reality doesn't concern me.
Right.
What concerns me is the fact that the driver had the audacity to put that vehicle on the roads, and secondly, that people ignore the reality of safety and enter it. But here's a fundamental thing that we always take into account. Okay, so people think, or they say, oh, go to the bus stop and apprehend them. But the fact of the matter is, they don't load passengers at the bus stop. They do that illegal stops. I can stay at the bus stop all day.
Right.
I won't pick one up because they will not come to the garage.
I'm wondering here, Engineer Fashola, the unions, what roles do they play in all of this? Because I believe that he must belong to a union.
Victor, I can confirm to you this particular boss, for that day that I apprehended him, had all the union signature on it. They collected their dues from him.
So that means they know that he's operating with a vehicle that is not roadworthy, a vehicle that could cost people's lives.
Absolutely.
So what's government doing about that, really? Because there must be an interface. There must be a kind of relationship between the government and the unions for them to know the roles that they're playing in this.
Okay, so I have reported that aspect of it to the proper channel, and I will let the due course take its effect.
Okay.
I'm not going to concern myself with that. That's another chapter. You can sit here all day and discuss that, but that's irrelevant for right now.
Right.
I have reported it, and they are doing what they need to do to alleviate some of those issues.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning, we're talking rickety vehicles on Lagos roads, a threat to safety or perhaps an enforcement nightmare. What do you think? Is it a case of the fact that these vehicles, the fact that we have them around, they have become so difficult to enforce, or perhaps it's a case of people not really paying any kind of regards for safety on our roads? You can share your thoughts with us as the program moves on this morning. Engineer Fashola, for that particular vehicle, what's going to be the next thing? Is it going to be confiscated? Is it going to be crushed? I'm thinking, there was one of the ardent listeners who gave a suggestion one day that look, she wants government to give her a license, a crushing license. I mean, there's so many vehicles she feels shouldn't be on the roads. If they give her a crushing license, she comes across those kind of vehicles, she crushes them. What do you think?
Okay, so that's a good question. Everybody has their own thoughts on that, but if I'm to follow the law as it was written, there are due processes to be done to have that vehicle crushed. I can't just arrest it and decide voluntarily that I'm going to crush it. You need to apply, and the legal documentation that you need to do to crush someone's vehicle, right? You can't just pick it off the road and crush it.
Yeah, but I mean, from what you have described, it goes beyond anything that can be repaired or perhaps be fixed.
No, it cannot be fixed, and that car is not going anywhere. That particular one is not going, like millions of them. It will not be returned to the road. But I am saying that I, as the
director,
the director cannot arbitrarily say, "Oh, go and crush it." Yeah, I have to follow the channels that have been laid out to have that process done.
All right, so now that we have preponderance of some of these vehicles, now this is just for the commercial, buses. We've seen trucks as well, and Fashola, what are you guys doing about those trucks that are rickety?
Same process. We apprehend them, the ones that are not fit for use. We take it off the road. The trucks present a different category of enforcement because once it's where to store them. VIO offices are not that massive to store an articulated vehicle. You can imagine the size, but we have places where we put them, like our sister agency, like LASMA. They help us out a lot, so we take some of those vehicles to those places, and they go through their end of life process, which the state has laid out.
All right. Okay, then. So there is an incident report. Yes, a breakdown of a blue BRT bus having an electrical problem at Koshofe in Wards K2. But the good news, another flash update says it has been taken off the road, so it's all looking good right now. Same for the earlier reported lifeless body on the 3rd Milan Bridge by Ilaje inwards Adekunle. That has been taken off by men of Semo ambulance. So we're having better movement right now on the 3rd Milan Bridge from Ilaje inwards Unilag Waterfront. Okay, so take note of that as you drive through that corridor. All right, so the articulated vehicles, they have the means of enforcement, which you guys are also carrying out. Commercial buses as well. But in terms of rickety vehicles that are private, what's the state of things with that?
You don't tend to find a lot of that. They're there. I'm not saying that they're not there. They're there, but you don't tend to find a lot of that. What you tend to find a lot of is commercial vehicles. Okay.
And the commercial vehicles, you're saying you're dealing with them as well. So in a week, can you give us an idea of how many commercial vehicles that you pick up from VIS?
On an average week for commercial vehicles, rickety standards,
right?
You can go 25, 30, depending on the areas we are focusing on.
25, 30?
Yes.
Wow. Every week?
Yes.
Right. Okay, let's see if we can take some calls this morning.
And some of them, ask for the vehicle to be repaired. If we feel that it is in a repairable state,
right,
we oblige, but the repairs will be done in the vicinity of VIS because we have to monitor that repair.
Right. Let's see if we can take some calls this morning. 09153877127. That's 09153877127 and 08099120777. These are the numbers that you can connect with us on the program this morning. All right, let's see if we can take this call. Hello there, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
Sorry, Victor. This is Mr. Adebayo Taufik, Director of Public Affairs of LASMA.
Go ahead.
Just a quick one to, give a report on the situation along from Ikorodu now for vehicle inside the traffic, right from my Jebule down to my 12. That we recorded a broken bus
BRT.
by that pedestrian bridge. But I want to confirm to them now it has been cleared off by last officers.
Okay.
At any point in time now, the traffic will subside and people to exercise patience and not to drive into the BRT or one way.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right. So the BRT vehicle that we talked about earlier on that broke down is being taken off. So it's a much better drive as well. Same for around the Ile-Ekpo corridor. The earlier reported breakdown at Ile-Ekpo is now off the road. And the road is now open for vehicular movement. So take note of that, those of you within that corridor. But share your thoughts with us this morning. We're asking the question, is it a case of enforcement that we're having the rickety vehicles still very much on our roads, or it's a case of people ignoring safety? Let's hear from you. 09153877127 and 08099120777. Hello there.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. Raphael?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Raphael?
Yeah, Raphael Jaram is taking reporting from the earlier reported impediment at Ile-Ekpo in Bosnia and Ifaja, where we have the falling truck.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Victor?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I want to confirm to you that like an hour ago, the impediment has been cleared off and the normalcy has also been restored. That is at Ile-Ekpo, right before the pedestrian bridge in Bosnia and Ifaja. And also discovered that it was some pothole on that road that caused the falling of that truck. So the traffic managers have fixed everything and the normalcy has been restored.
Okay. All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so the situation now is very fine. Though it is quite busy because of the market activity, commercial activity on the road and bus of activity, but there is no impediment at this moment. The traffic manager are right here on ground to make sure that they control the situation in this area.
Okay then. All right. Thank you very much, Raphael. Okay then, so that's our live motorbike reporter from the scene there at Ile-Ekpo where we had that breakdown earlier on. All right, some messages coming in here on Lagos Transport Trains and Perspectives. This one says, good morning, Engineer Fashola. How well do you work with LASMA, FRAC and the police when it comes to rickety vehicle enforcement? Ayola Dada is sending that one in. So what's the relationship you have with them, Engineer Fashola?
We have a very cordial relationship, so we don't work together all the time. So when we have situations with a particular area that is a bit challenging, that's when we collaborate to try and alleviate that issue in that particular area. But you know, for the most part, they have their own schedule and beats, and we have our own schedule and beats. But like I said, if there is a particular area that is giving us serious concern, and then we collaborate in that aspect, and you see a lot more of that, because it has come to a point where we're not just going to close our eyes to all these small intangible things that people tend to overlook.
All right. So you guys do lots more of collaboration these days.
Yes.
All right. Another message here says, good morning. Lots of Nigerians don't particularly trust government agencies when it comes to enforcement. What are you doing internally to clean up the VIS image and build public trusts? Sheon Ibrahim is sending that one. Sheon, thank you so much.
That's a fantastic question. Okay, so I'll take it in two parts. One, you don't need to trust government enforcement agencies to save your own life. All right, so you need to be considerate about your own safety, and that's one of the reasons that we're telling you need to be mindful of using public transport that is rickety, you know, that is not licensed, issues of one chance or whatever it is they call them. And two, in terms of internal structures, we are constantly giving them training and enhancing their capacity to be able to carry out that function without prejudice to the vehicle owners.
All right.
So it's an ongoing thing, and we monitor it and we implement it. As a matter of fact, Mr. Gov just approved a critical aspect of training for VIS officers just recently, and they will undergo it as we speak.
Okay. All right. Update from Mile 12 says the Loma personnel, they are on duty at the moment, and they are carrying out some evacuation duties there inwards K2. So it's slow if you are within that corridor. So take note of that. Those of you who are around that particular corridor, you wonder why it's slow. It's as a result of the busy traffic inwards K2, but no records of impediment at the moment. So take note of that as you drive through that corridor. 09153877127. Hello there. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Victor.
Good morning.
Good morning, my guy in the house.
Morning, sir.
Quick one. I had two questions. The first one.
What's your name? What's your name first?
My name is Ainde.
Ainde. Okay, where are you calling from?
Yes, Maryland.
Maryland. All right, go ahead.
My first question, or more about like an observation, regarding the BRT which applied into the road. We have a BRT lane. Why does the BRT officials or the drivers of the BRT doesn't make use of the BRT lane? Rather, it's only when there is traffic that's when they make use of the BRT lane.
Okay.
If there is no traffic, they make use of the normal lane. Why the BRT lane is left unattended, which I believe wasn't right. The purpose of having the BRT lane is for the bus to go to the BRT lane rather than coming towards the main carriageway.
Right.
It's only when they find out that there's traffic that's when they go back to the BRT, which is not normal.
Okay, what's the second question?
Number two. Yeah. My second question is if a car is not on the road and it was ticketed, why the person came to your office to make inquiry and they find out that it was a mistake from the people's end, which he was told that it's going to rectify the thing. Instead of rectifying the thing, they still had another fine again on it.
Okay. So you want to know what you should do, right?
Yes, sir.
You want to know what should be done, right?
Yes, sir, Mr. Victor.
All right, Ainde, just keep listening. Thank you so much.
All right, sir.
Okay, then. So I think you need to start first with the second question. If you are wrongly ticketed and you actually contested it, and now instead of removing the fines, another one was added. What do you think is going on?
That's an anomaly.
An unusual situation.
Yeah, very unusual. I will ask this particular individual to please, either if you have the opportunity to come to the headquarters, since you have already contested from what you said, and another one was issued. Right. It needs further investigation.
All right, so he needs to reach your office then.
Yes, he does.
Let's take some more calls. Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. Hello there.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Musa. I'm calling from Lagos. Currently on the airport road.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, I just want to commend your guest. Listening to him this morning is like a breath of fresh air.
Okay.
Because I have personally experienced 3 accidents with this Rickety commercial vehicles. One, I personally had an experience many years ago. I was for warehouse.
Okay.
And the vehicle headed off the road somewhere around Oshodi. And it took God for it to stop the vehicle because we're heading to a petrol pump.
Wow.
Yes, and it stopped right in front of the petrol pump. Then the other 2 were just recently, I think it was 2 along the expressway heading to Arepo.
Okay.
And they were very, 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 very serious accidents. The guy just headed off and turned. Thank God that the other vehicles coming with speed saw them and slowed down. And we came down to help rescue people. So I think that more needs to be done. I know you guys are doing a lot. It's a whole lot because Lagos has a whole lot of people, and fact is fact. These buses are not owned by individuals. They are owned by people who somehow have a way of influencing things. Let me use that word.
Right.
However, lives are at stake, and I like the approach he's taking, sensitizing people to even think about their safety first. You know, when you get to a park and you see that these buses are not good, look, there are options. You can't say these are the only vehicles that are at the park or on the road. There are always options for transport. There are better vehicles, maybe not excellent, but good enough to enter. When you enter a vehicle and you are seeing the tar on the road from your vehicle, like the base of the car is torn out, you should be concerned
about that.
Yeah, so I think that commuters need to be more careful now and speak out. Like, we will not enter this vehicle.
All right.
You know, and when people do that often, the owners of the vehicle or the drivers will tell their owners that we are not making business because people are not entering our car because they are not good enough. You know, of course, we know that the issue of last mile or VIO, I mean, nobody's perfect, right? But everybody's trying to do the best they can to ensure we have a safer Lagos. But it's a good thing. I wish we have more of you on TV stations and radio stations.
Okay.
To talk to people more
about this. All right, no, sir. You made your point, and I really appreciate you for this. Thank you so much for adding your voice to the conversation this morning. All right, so Engineer Fashola, Nosa there, really applauding what you are doing. Messages here coming in for you. This one says, "Good morning, sirs." It says, we have so many information in circulation regarding speed cameras in different areas. Please, which areas are they officially located and their fines? DMC is sending this one in. DMC, thank you so much. So, speed cameras, how many of them do we have in Lagos right now?
Victor, in this particular incident, I would tell DMC to please just be mindful of your speed across the entire Lagos state. But for the purpose of your question, currently we are operating 3 sections: Alekpere, Third Mainland, Mobolaji Bank Anthony.
Okay,
those are live, and the others will come on board as soon as we get them situated.
Right. Another set of questions says, "Good morning, gentlemen in the studios. The VIS officers out there are not performing their statutory duty as expected. So why do they avoid rickety vehicles and trucks while they focus on private vehicles? Every day you hear of containers falling off their trucks and claiming lives as well. So tomorrow you also hear of commercial vehicles losing brakes and claiming lives of passengers as well. So if they were doing their duties, these occurrences wouldn't be rampant." All right, this is coming in from Mide from Ogba. All right, Mide, thank you so much for your contribution as well. We're winding down this morning. There's a lot, and lots of messages are coming in, but unfortunately, might not be able to take all of them. Engineer Akin-George Fashola, talk to our listeners this morning. You made a point, but in terms of enforcement for rickety vehicles, what's the position? What are you guys going to be doing moving forward?
Okay, so I want to pass out a message to my lovely Lagosians, and it's very simple. Henceforth, if we come across a rickety vehicle, and which we will, because we are going to intensify our enforcement in that particular area. I'm not going to tell you where we are coming. We are just coming, and now we are coming with full force.
Okay.
I want to tell you that you need to be cautious of your own safety. And aside from that, all rickety vehicles, I will not wait for them to reach their final destination. I will onboard all of you, right? I will onboard all of you, right? Because my job is to make sure that you are alive. And if that means dropping you on the side of the road, I will do it without any hesitation. I am appealing to Lagosians who use public transport. Be mindful of the vehicles that you enter, because not only will it cost you money? It can cost you your life.
All right. We'll leave it at that for now this morning. Engineer Akin-George Fashola, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and I hope that Lagosians will listen to this. Please do not embark on any rickety vehicle. Nosa was saying there, you have an option, right? If you see that this vehicle, the way it is looking is not really, really good, you have an option to allow it go, okay? Don't say there are no options out there. We have to go. The program this morning has been produced by Dayo Anthony. I say a big thank you, maximum shout out going out to Bolanle Ogunlola, who is Director of Public Affairs for the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation. In the studio this morning, I have Taiwo Adebalogun, who is also assisting, of course, that particular unit, the Public Affairs unit of the ministry. Thank you so much for being here as well. Our social media team, Okpayemi Shodunke and Remy Aluko, in the building as well. Temilade and Marvelous, big shout out going out to you. And our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. I'm out. Stay very much with him. Please think safety at all times. Definitely, you'll arrive at your destination alive if you obey the rules on the roads. My name is Victor. Bye.